We are MLBS Engineering, Mosier, Lopez, Bottoms, and Smith Engineering. My name is Forrest Smith. This is Mason Mosier, Alfredo Lopez, and Justin Bottoms in the blue. We have done a water fountain as our project. We used a theme of a whiskey still, and the design was very simple, and we let the theme of the project speak for itself. Anyways, as the project went along, we kind of developed into certain roles. We found that I had a large personality and did well on the managerial side. Mason did very well with the technical analysis of the project. Alfredo was the creative soul in the bunch, and Justin did very well with the mechanical aspects of the construction. Well, as far as when we started the project, it was we started off with one design, and the designs looked to work very well. Really, the only problem we found in the project was more in the selection of the materials and how they would work and interact with each other to meet the objectives of the project. The parts we used were a 100 to 155 gallon adjustable and fully submersible water pump, a 5-foot coil of soft copper tubing, 6 inches of plastic water piping, a whiskey barrel planter, 2 stainless steel hose clamps, and a glass jug and a partridge in a pear tree. It was, again, our design worked flawlessly off the bat. We did cover a couple problems, and that was with the fouling of the pump, as we used loose rock to base our pump off of, and so we created a housing out of a plastic container and perforated it for a pump housing to keep the sediment from fouling the pump. We also, one of the objectives of the fountain was also to minimize splashing, so you could use around furniture, such as wooden furniture, so it would not tear up the furniture, and we minimize that by reducing the pressure, the head pressure on top of the tank, to keep the pressure down on the streams in the water feature here, to keep it from leaving the water basin. As far as the market goes, we took a sample plot of 37 similar pumps, and the sample requirements were that it had a 1 to 2 stage water feature, which, this being a 1-stage water feature, water pours into the water feature and spills out, so it could have up to 2. We only have 1. It had the other requirements were that it had only 1 power plant, a base variance of 1 feet squared to 6 feet squared, and that it had no other electronics, an example, lights or control boards. We found that the market mean was $118.79, and the market variance being $78.99 to $282.52. The market median was $125.64. Our cost on the project, with all materials and labor included, was $64.60 per unit. And we found, measuring against the mean of the market, that our profit margins in in-house sales were 84.3%, and our wholesale market, which accounts for the 20% reduction in profit, 20% markdown for the wholesale distributors of 20%, our profit margin was 47.1%. Our strategies as a company really is we would like to create more in-house sales, as they seem to be more lucrative at 84.3%. So we'd like to develop a website to increase the in-house sales. We'd also like to sell the rock separately to add to the versatility of the water fountain. We can offer different styles of rock to suit each individual's preference. Also, that helps on the cost on the shipping of the product as far as weight. It also reduces the cost of the product itself. As far as what we'd like to do with the revenue stream, we'd like to invest the profit revenue stream into human capital via training to run CNC machinery programs such as SolidWorks, so we could start maybe going towards a true molded base instead of using loose rock and already produced water basins where we could do that ourselves. And we'd also like to invest into the CNC machinery or 3D printing to that correspond with the training. That's about it, guys. Do you guys have any questions for any of us?
I just want to say that I think it's amazing that you think too, that you can get different colors of rocks and have that versatility. I'm sure that you could probably do different colored barrels to match the different, styles of rock. And so I think it's a really great company. And
we'd also like to maybe look at different materials for the jug and try to find those at a wholesale to maybe increase the aesthetic quality of the product.
yeah.
And another addition we've been talking about doing is having a synthetic insert in place of the rock. So instead of having the whole thing filled up with rock, which this thing weighs, what do we say, 24 pounds totaled up?
With the rock, it's
Before the rock,
Yeah.
and then you add the rock in, and
It's
it's
60
at least,
pounds.
60. And so this insert would allow us just to cover the top, and you have a real thin layer, and that would be more useful for indoor use, and you wouldn't have to
Or for
lug it around when you have to vacuum.
but
Can you explain how a two-step would work again? What would it look
well,
like?
this would like in several fountains, you can have your power plant will pick your water up, and our power plant can pick it up, rise the water level. 4.1 feet total before it won't pump any higher.
Oh.
But let's say this is one water feature and it pours into one water feature. Well, you could have another water feature below it where it spills into, and then it spills back into the basin, which that would be a two-step. You could add another step where it pours into one and then another and then another. And that would be a three-stage. Those?
So the regular water fountains, even that have different tiers, they're really just one step because they're just
Yeah.
the water's just going down.
Mhm.
Okay, that's so interesting.
So how feasible would it be to add indirect lighting, like submersed indirect lighting for lake operation in dark room would be pretty neat.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard at all. And again, we didn't even take that into account into our market. If we did that, our price would increase. And again, with our knowledge of the technology as we invested in the human capital, I think we could increase our profit margins by doing so.
Yeah.
Probably
And you could
gotta
always
increase
do
the
like an
market.
optional thing, like if you want to buy these lights to put it in, you could have different colored lights to go with different styles people want to see.
Else?
Wonderful job.